Dan to Dan. Dan to Dan, episode 23. Hey, it's a kaiju. I think that's pretty obvious at this point. But let's talk about it. Welcome back, events. We're talking about episode 23. It's a kaiju. Yes, we've noticed it's a kaiju. It's tearing up stuff right now. So we got Okarun, Momo, and Kinta who are facing off against this kaiju, trying to figure out what to do. And the first thing to do is to run, get out of dodge, and that's pretty much what they do. This kaiju they end up determining that it's a space kaiju, more or less. It's one of the aliens. It's from one of the planets, or whatever the case may be. It came from somewhere other than here, and it has now shrouded everything in darkness. And in the process of this, you see, everybody's kind of running, trying to get away, figure out what's going on. And we see Ira and Jiji see the sky gets dark, and they actually, we got to go find Momo. So they run off to find Momo, which they do. And as soon as they find Momo, they all got to turn around and get out of dodge because, yeah, this thing is right on their tail. This kaiju is not slowing down for anything. So basically, they end up enlisting Gigi. Hey, get Kinta out of here. He needs to go. We'll figure this out. Acrobatic Silky is the one who takes charge because she is the leader, according to her. She is the leader, and she is going to handle these things. And she starts launching attacks, and she's scrapping, she's fighting, she's trying to blind it with her hair. She's doing all types of tricks. She's doing her thing. Don't get me wrong. Like, I am very happy with how Acrobatic Silky is performing, but we see that this thing has a power that we did not account for, and it is electric blast. It's got about 3 horns on top of his head. They all curve to a point, and it is channeling electric blast out and is trying to zap any and everyone that comes near it. And that is one of the biggest problems because they have no counter for that. Not much they can do. So Ira keeps touting that she's the leader as she's fighting, and Momo is trying to provide assistance where she can while pretty much riding on Okarun's back so that he can get her where she needs to be to launch attacks. Now, during the processes, Kaiju ends up getting hit with an antenna where Acrobat Silky is very happy about, you know, throwing stuff. So she's throwing a couple cars. Momo has thrown some cars at the feet, trying to take out the legs. And the antenna was the biggest thing that smacked it in the face, trying to get it to stumble, but it recovered very quickly. And as soon as it recovered, it grabbed hold of Acrobatic Silky and is just like, yeah, I'm gonna squeeze the crap out of you and call it a day. And of course, Momo comes in with more billboards, throwing stuff to cause a distraction to get it to let go of Ira. Now, the entire time, this city is deserted. Like, after everybody done ran out, like, this kaiju is destroying everything. And I don't see not one other person in sight outside of the team. Like, no one else. I could be mistaken, but I don't see anyone else. Like, that place cleared out very quickly for being a busy area. So I don't know. They got to figure it out. So Okaruna and Momo end up, taking a direct hit from the lightning as it starts to charge back up. But Momo managed to get a bubble up to protect themselves from it. And while doing that, Ira is able to pretty much distract it. And Momo was able to change the bubble into hands to hold said lightning and then redirect said lightning back into the kaiju, which is, good thinking. And as they set this up, they're like, cool, they managed to blast it. It's down and out. Maybe we don't have to worry about it anymore. It's gone. And that's what Ira's kind of walking around looking like. It's gone. It's done. But what do we know about it? It has camouflage ability. So it basically reactivated its cloaking and was on invisible and was trying to stomp the crap out of Ira, which Okarun manages to save her and, kind of get her out of dodge. But during the process, it still ends up being a blast and, kind of wildly waving and smacking to do damage. So there's not much they can do to kind of get away from it. We end up cutting over to Gigi, who's still running away from with Kinta as the kaiju does one more lightning blast to supposedly blast Silky. So all this is happening roughly at the same time. So after that blast happened, we see Gigi running with Kinta. He's trying to get him out of there, and Kinta is sweating profusely. and ends up rubbing his cheek onto Gigi, who has to try to hold a transformation, which he manages to do. So he manages to hold a transformation before it happens, because again, water, any type of water is going to mess him up. Well, of course, Kinta, you know, being disrespected or whatever, it's like, you take my sweat, and he ends up flinging all his sweat at Gigi, which causes him to transform. And of course, now Kinta's like, I didn't know you were like Okarun. This is gonna suck. Now, if you know about Gigi and Evil Eye just wants to fight. He wants to fight. He wants to fight everything. And in the process of him wanting to fight, he's so mad he throws his backpack and just flings that thing into existence. Like, just it's gone. It's no longer here on this plane. So as he flings that backpack, you see that he's trying to figure out, is it his day to fight? And Momo told Kenta, hey, get out of here, do what you got to do. Kenta relays that information as, hey, you're supposed to get me out of here, and then you're supposed to go back to Momo's house. So Evil Eye's like, oh, today must be the day I fight. It's got to be the day I fight, Okarun. I got to get back. So now he runs off to Momo's house, because that's where his beeline is. He gets to fight today. He has been excited for this for a minute. Now Kenta stays in tow. Now, with this being said, Momo and Okarun are still back there trying to figure out what to do, and we see Acrobatic Silky kind of laid out on top of a building. Before the kaiju can go to crush her, which is about to, Okarun goes all out and manages to get her to safety, but that was his second transformation of the fight. He's not able to do anymore. Momo ends up using her hands to grab him and keep him and Ira safe, and kind of move them around in the process. And they get a bit of a break, because Gigi's backpack comes flying from out of nowhere and smacks the freaking kaiju right in the face to give a distraction, enough for Momo to get Okarun down, and they're able to more or less escape back to Momo's house. So I was like, that's pretty funny. Like, just the way the setup was hilarious. But they end up getting back to the house, and we see Gigi arrive at the same time as Evil Eye, and they're like, "Yo, we get to fight today. Let's fight." And they're like, "No, it's not Tuesday. Like, where did you get to? Like, it is not Tuesday. We don't get to fight." And you see Evil Eye looks dejected, like he like a sad puppy. It's like, "Oh, like I wanted to fight," and his whole time he's screaming, he's like, "I want to murr." Like he's trying to take something out. Like this, that's his whole freaking line is, "I want to M something the entire time." Like, I get it. We know you got some pent up aggression. You want to get it out. Go ahead and get it out. Now, you know, with that being said, Okarun is the only way he can get it out. And basically, you know, well, Momo and Okarun are the only way they can get out. And Momo makes a suggestion that if we use him to fight the kaiju, maybe we can defeat it. But Okarun is like, if we change the terms and conditions of the agreement, we said he can only fight me, and he can only fight me on Tuesdays. This is going to give him free reign to fight anybody, to fight anything. We can't have that. So they have to figure something else out. So how to fight this thing? So they go in the house, they start to figure out a plan. Whole time with Evil Eye just saying the same thing over and over again. He's like, I want to just take something out. Like that's all I want to do is I want to take something out. They're trying to figure it out, but Momo touched the house and it glows blue. And they're like, what is that? Of course, you gotta remember the nano skin, which is an alien technology, is what the house is made from. So Okarun suggests that if they can use the nanoskin, which is an alien technology, to defeat an alien kaiju, that may work. But how will we do it? We got to figure it out. And Momo and the crew sit around the table as they try to figure it out. And Okarun's trying to concentrate and figure out something bigger than the kaiju to make, but he can't focus. But that's when Kinta comes into play, the unlikely hero who was like, sci-fi is my specialty. Let me do this. He puts his hand on the table, he starts thinking while Momo's thinking, and Okarun's thinking, and basically we get a full on, I want to say, Power Rangers, Voltron, freaking style sequence where they're sliding through the different tunnels and tubes of the house. Okarun goes to the bathroom and grabs onto the toilet or whatever, and they all have their more or less Power Ranger s transformations where they end up, you know, in the different parts of the house, and they all got communications up and they all flash on the screen. So very great, hilarious. I was dying. but they end up transforming the house into a giant Buddha. And Kenta's like, this is not what I imagined. And of course, Mo was like, well, I was thinking of a giant Buddha because that's something I think of that's bigger than the kaiju that could save us more or less. So it looks like they may have a giant robotic Buddha that may be able to scrap, Power Rangers, Megazord style with this kaiju, which this should make for an interesting next episode. Like I'm excited to see how they pull this off because right now it is a full statue and it does not move. So how is this possible? We don't know. That's where they end the episode. So good episode. I enjoyed it. Acrobatic Silky got some shine. She was in there getting it in, and I am very happy for her character to kind of move through her arc and get more confident and more, I guess, more shine with her powers. Even though she's still trying to hug on to Okarun a bit too much, which is Momo's like, yeah, nah. And they still calling each other pig and skank and everything else throughout the entire episode, which always makes for their fun comedic banter. So solid episode. I enjoy it. Hey, freaking, I want to hear what you think in the comments, which is going to happen on the next episode. Because again, this should be the big boss battle coming up. So make sure you hit that love, and subscribe button. Stay tuned. We will be continuing to cover this and all the other anime that we are watching, as well as some new stuff that's coming. We got Peacemaker later on today. Should be covered by Brent. I'm going to go check out this Demon Slayer movie today and see what's going on with this. So hopefully I'll be able to get back with you guys by tomorrow on my thoughts on that. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.